part 2 of our number properties practice test. Okay, so first question, when reading questions like this, please identify your keywords. This says simplify. Even if it just said simplify, you should know that when we're simplifying an expression like this, where a number is being multiplied repeatedly, we need to have it in index form, so a base and a power. So first write down the different numbers that you see. In this case, we only have a 3 being multiplied repeatedly. And how many times is 3 being multiplied? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the power becomes 6. Okay, so the power tells us how many times to multiply our base with itself. Now with B, you can see that we've got 2 different numbers. So that means we are going to have 2 different bases. So I have a 5 times a 7. So get your bases ready and then work out how many times we multiply that base. In this case, we've got 1, 2, 3. So power 3. So 5 cubed times, and then 3 sevens. 1, 2, 3. So 7 cubed. So we have 5 cubed times 7 cubed. And that's been simplified. With 15, there's 2 keywords. It says expand and then evaluate. Okay, so expanding means to write the longer version. So 4 cubed is really saying 4 times 4 times 4. And then we have to then evaluate as well. And we know evaluate just means to calculate, show the actual answer. So 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64. So I've expanded here and then evaluated. With B, same thing. So I've got 3 squared. So that's 3 times 3. I can put that in brackets. And then times is next, is in between these 2 powers. And then 2 cubed would be 2 times 2 times 2. So 1, 2, 3. So my first step, I've expanded. And now I'm going to evaluate. So 3 times 3 is 9. I've got a times in between them. And 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Okay, so I've taken care of my powers first. And then I'll do multiplication last. And then 9 times 8 is 72. Okay, with this one, we've got 10 to the power of 5. So we have to expand first. So let's write 10 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that means I'm going to have 5 zeros. So 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. We can go and put commas in. So 1, 2, 3, comma. And I've got 100,000. Okay, with these ones, it says evaluate the following. Now we've got, for the first few, we've got roots. Now we know this is saying the square root of 36, and we know there's an invisible 2. That's why it's called the square root. A power 2 in maths is a square. And that 2 tells us, can you think of a number where we multiply it with itself twice? So something times something, that gives me 36, and it must be the same number. Now I know in my 6 time tables, 6 times 6 is 36, and I've used 6 twice, so the number is 6. Square root of 144, so something times something to give you 144. It has to be 12 because 12 times 12 is 144. With C, now the power is 3, so it's a cube. So something times something times something 3 times to give you 125. Now it ends in 5. So the first number I think of is 5. So let's try 5. Will that give me 125? It does. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. So the number was 5. With D, power 3 again. So something times something times something 3 times to give you, we've got 1,000. 1 and 3 zeros. Now, because we have 3 zeros, we can split them up in each section. So 1 can go here, 1 can go there, 1 can go there. That will give me 3 zeros in my answer if I multiply it 3 times. And what must I put in each one to get the number 1? Well, I know 1 times 1 times 1 will give me 1. So the number I've made is 10. So this would equal 10. With E, we've got the square root of 49,000. Oh, sorry, 4,900. Sorry, just went blurry. Now, with this one, it's a square root, not a cube root. There's an invisible power 2 there. So something times something to give me 4,900. Now, because there's 2 zeros, I can split them up. So 1, 2 zeros are taken care of. That leaves me with 49. What's something times something to give me 49? Well, I know 7 times 7 is 49. So the number must be 70. And now F, we no longer have roots. We've got powers. So evaluate your powers first, and then we can add and subtract. So powers come before addition and subtraction. So 4 squared is 16. So 4 times 4 is 16 plus 0 cubed. Well, 0 times 0 times 0 is just 0. And 1 squared is 1 times 1, which is 1. So I'm left with 16 plus 0, which is just 16. And 16 minus 1 is 15. And there we go. On this page, now for all of these, we also have to think about order of operations. All right, so here I've got 2 to the power of 0. Now, anything to the power of 0 is 1. We learnt that in class as to why that happens. So I'm left with 1 plus 4, which is just 5. Over here, I've got 100 to the power of 6. So that's saying 100 times 100 times 100 6 times. The trick is, if we've got 2 zeros, so multiply the 2 zeros with 6. What's 2 times 6? That gives me 12. So that means my number, I've got 1. 1 won't change. That means I'm going to have 12 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you can put commas in, starting from here. 1, 2, 3, comma, 2, 3, comma, comma. And you can try and read that number. All right, with F, we've got 9 times the square root of 9. So square roots must come first. So 9 times the square root of 9 is 3. 9 times 3 is 27. With J, we've got a big square root, but remember, there's actually invisible brackets when you've got a calculation under a big square root. So get the square root ready. And I've got 5 squared plus 12 squared. That's 25 plus 144. Okay, and